I never thought I would tell this story, not because I was afraid, but because some wounds run so deep, you wonder if they will ever truly heal. After sharing my last video about my battle with depression, many of you reached out. Some of you saw yourselves in my pain. Some of you are still fighting your own battles. I heard your voices, and today I want to go deeper into a time when I was completely lost, when the dreams I had held onto for so long shattered before my eyes. This is a story about despair, but it's also a story about redemption. For 5 years, I chased a dream that never wanted me back. Every year, I applied for university admission. Every year, rejection met me like an old friend. I remember sitting at home watching as my friends packed their bags and moved on with their lives. They were becoming doctors, engineers, accountants. Meanwhile, I was stuck in a cycle of failure, drowning in frustration and self-doubt. Then on my 5th attempt, I finally got accepted, but not into the course I'd spent years dreaming about, not into a field I had fought so hard for. No, the university gave me French. French? I had nothing against the language. I admired it. But this was not my dream. I was exhausted, broken, and out of options. My mother, God bless her soul, always believed in education, and I couldn't disappoint her. So I swallowed my disappointment and enrolled. But deep inside, something was dying. I should have felt proud the day I graduated. I should have felt accomplished. Instead, I felt nothing. There was no joy, no fulfillment, only an unbearable emptiness. I had a degree, but no direction. I had knowledge, but no purpose. It felt like all those years had been wasted on a future I never wanted. I withdrew from everything. I avoided friends. I avoided conversations. I avoided life. Then I thought, maybe more education will fix this. I told myself that if I could just find the right path, I could reclaim my life. That's when I stumbled upon Pilgrim's University in Burlington, North Carolina, and Concepts University in London. Back then, researching universities wasn't as easy as it is now. I found these institutions and everything seemed legitimate. Their representatives spoke well, their websites looked professional, and they promised me exactly what I wanted, a second chance. So I enrolled, not just in one master's program, but 2, an MBA and a master's in project management. I worked brutal shifts in a freezing cold storage facility just to pay for them, but I didn't care. I believed it was all worth it. Then I took it a step further. I enrolled in a PhD program in business management. The university required a local professor as a supervisor. It cost me a fortune, but I was willing to pay the price. And then one day I found out the truth. My degrees were worthless. The institutions were fake. Pilgrim's University, Concepts University, they never existed. They were elaborate scams, degree mills designed to prey on hopeful minds like mine. Everything I had worked for, everything I had sacrificed for had amounted to nothing. I collapsed into despair. If that pain wasn't enough, life had one more betrayal waiting for me. A close friend, someone I'd trusted, took advantage of my desperation. He offered me a business opportunity, promising that this was my way out of the mess I was in. I gave him everything, my last savings, my last hope, and then he disappeared. Broke, alone, betrayed. And just when I thought I had nothing left to lose, I found out the woman I had loved for years, the woman who had stood beside me through it all, was preparing to marry someone else. It was too much. The pain was unbearable. For the first time in my life, I genuinely questioned whether I wanted to go on living. I don't know how I survived those days, but I do know this. I didn't do it alone. Therapy saved my life. At my lowest point, I was fortunate to receive professional help. I sat in a room where for the first time someone listened. Someone saw me, not as a failure, not as a man who had lost everything, but as a human being worthy of redemption. It wasn't easy. Healing was slow. The scars of betrayal and disappointment don't fade overnight. But my family, my true friends, they refused to let me sink. They reminded me that my worth wasn't tied to a piece of paper, that my failures did not define me, that I was more than my broken dreams. And slowly, I began to believe them. This chapter of my life was meant to break me. Instead, it shaped me. It took everything from me, but it gave me something greater. The will to rebuild, the courage to start again, and the strength to rise. To anyone out there who feels lost, who feels like the world has turned its back on you, I see you, I hear you, and I promise you, this is not the end. If you found hope in this story, if you believe in second chances, I invite you to be part of this journey. Like this video, share your story in the comments, and if you haven't already, subscribe, because together we will rise again. Scene end.